Well, virtual brown coats are alive and well and active right here in the United States of America. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, back in Nazi Germany under the rule of Hitler, Hitler controlled an entire army of brown coats. It is this army that was the radical arm of Hitler himself, and he used his arm to not only harass, but to segregate, to censor, and eventually round up the Jewish people. Now, that said, obviously there are no brown coats here in America trying to round up anyone or take us to concentration camp. That is not a link I'm trying to make. The link here that I am making is there is a virtual online group, leftist radicals, who are doing everything in their power to censor and segregate conservative voices online. And they've even migrated to businesses as well. And it's just not conservatives. First, they came for conservatives. Now they've came for traitors. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. And then eventually they'll come for ... fill in the blank. They don't just censor one voice. But before I get into the report, just a quick break.
When you think about the future of our country and where we are headed, do you ever wonder about the food supply? I do. As you have seen with COVID-19, disruptions in the food supply can be disastrous, and they come with little to no warning. That's why the smartest thing you can do today is make sure that you have emergency food supply as well as water and other essential necessities. In fact, the Red Cross recommends that every family have at least a month's worth of food and water on hand. But please make sure that when you do purchase emergency food supply, that it at least lasts up to 25 years. And this is just one of the many reasons why I personally use My Patriot Supply at preparewithlisa.com. My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, serving millions of people over decades. In fact, they're the only source that my family trusts for emergency preparedness food supply. And right now, they've got an amazing offer of up to 20% off. All you have to do is go to preparewithlisa.com. And there you will see some amazing packages. There's a 4-week food supply emergency kit that has over 2,000 calories and 284 servings and includes breakfast, lunch, dinners, and drinks. But there's also a 2-week emergency food supply that has over 118 servings. And the meals are in resealable heavy-duty 4-layer pouches. And right now, the amazing part is you can get that 4-week food supply kit at 20% off and over $40 off of that 2-week food supply kit. So prepare your family today by going to preparewithlisa.com. Don't be a victim of disaster. Spare your family from disaster and prepare in advance. That's preparewithlisa.com. All the information is in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast.
So what of this force that has been actively censoring voices online? You see, the problem isn't that they just want to silence opposition in the name of hate speech like we're told. The truth of the matter is they're after your rights, they're after your freedom, and they're after our very Constitution. This is something that you and I are already all well aware of. However, they need the right people in line to make the right steps to completely subvert our First and Second Amendment rights. And now with Joe Biden in, it seems a lot of that is already happening. Let me start here with this article because this is just the icing on the cake. This is ZeroHedge.com. 6 state attorney generals warn that Biden has basically overstepped his presidential executive order declarations. And here's the thing. In the very first week, Bush had 2 executive orders. Clinton had 2 executive orders. Trump had 4 and Obama had about 5 executive orders. Okay, that's nothing. In the first 5 days, I'm just talking 5 days alone, he's already signed more. Joe Biden had 30 executive orders, and I think he's up to like 37 and counting at the time of the making of this video. Those are the signs of a dictator, not the sign of someone who wants unity, like he so eloquently put. But if you've got the backing of Facebook and Twitter and Google, you have the backing of social media, you have the backing of the mainstream media, you have the backing of the FBI and CIA, well, then you're pretty much, and even a lot of the court system, well, then what stops him from subverting it? You just had to have the right guy in charge to take away any and all freedom. And I'm now thankful to hear that some attorney generals are suing the president over some of these executive orders, which is not uncommon, by the way. It does happen. And hopefully, fingers crossed, because it depends on what court system, who controls that particular court system, right? But this is really where we're at as a country. Things are so bad that even the mainstream media made a little beep about it, because they have to appease their people in some way, shape, or form. And so the New York Times put this out on ease up on the executive actions, Joe. That's what they said, just ease up. But they knew there's a lot more going on. But that said, we know, as a result, the end game is to subvert the Constitution. Got it. They've been calling it an outdated document for years. It's not an outdated document. That's where my conservative side is going to stand strong, even my libertarian side. But that said, after having smeared and blacklisted and delisted conservatives, now they've moved on to the trading side. And I got to show you this. And I'm sure you guys have already heard a lot of this. It actually has been all over the mainstream media. But this is Fox News in regards to GameStop saga, right? Rush Limbaugh, GameStop saga mirrors politics as the elites attempted to prevent the regular people from benefiting. And that's what that was all about. You guys, if you haven't heard what's going on with GameStop, I'm going to read a little bit of this to give you an idea of what's going on. But basically, the little people went after the rich billionaires, and I'm giving a very broad term here, and the little investors won in the end, made money, and the rich people didn't make money. The billionaires at the top, they got really mad, and so they started closing down apps and all of that, which I'm going to get into. But first they came for the conservatives, then they came for the traders, right? The investors, those are the little ones. You see, because they're all working together in a network. But here's what it has to say. Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, and other restricted trading on Thursday and Wednesday, respectively, following an unexpected surge in trading volume of the shares of GameStop, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, BlackBerry, and others. Limbaugh feels the move was made to protect hedge fund billionaires. And this is what he says. Folks, it's not just political now. The elites are bent out of shape that a bunch of average, ordinary users, us little people, have figured out how to make themselves billionaires, Limbaugh said on Thursday. I've been studying it all morning, and the best thing I can tell you is whatever you think is going on in politics, Washington establishment, the deep state, what you have here is the same thing in finance. Right? And he's right. What's been happening to conservatives and libertarians this whole time is now happening on a different scale in the finance industry, right? But he also said, those who are allowed to make a lot of money, there are those who can make money, and apparently we, the little people, can't make money. That was kind of what happened with GameStop, right? If you figure out how to make a lot of money, and if you're like Donald Trump and you figure out how to get elected and you figure out how to beat the deep state, then they're going to come and they're going to wipe you out because you weren't supposed to be there. Donald Trump wasn't supposed to be there. These traders who went and did the opposite of what the hedge fund managers told them to do made big profit while the others lost, right? But they're not allowed to do that. Only the rich people. So they're going to destroy you. And that's what happened with GameStop, right? That's interesting. So the billionaires at the top there didn't like what the little people did. And so what did they do? Well, they started mass censoring. Right? So Robinhood immediately shuts down trades for GameStop, AMC, and other companies. Wait, what? That's illegal, by the way. Oh, because they did that, there's actually a lawsuit being filed by the little people, and I'll show you that article. And that's here. Class action lawsuit, this is on Big League Politics, against Robinhood filed after the company restricted transaction on GameStop. Good for them. Good for the little people. They said, why did you close your stuff? You're trying to rig the system there, Robinhood. Good for the little people. So now there's a class action lawsuit as a result of what happened. But guess what? It didn't stop there. Just like they censor out conservatives, check this out. Here's what Facebook had to do as a result. This is on Big League Politics. Rigged sham. Facebook then closes the Robinhood Stock Traders Group. Claims that there's some kind of sex exploitation. The very day that the little people made money, I'm going to shut your group down because there's sexual exploitation. Wait, what? Okay. It had nothing to do with what just happened. Bull. And that's not all. Discord, right? Discord also did some stuff, right? Elon Musk accuses Discord of going corporate after it banned the Reddit group that was boosting the GameStop price that said, go in for GameStop, go get the stock on Game, right? So because they did that, Discus said, well, I'm going to shut the group down, ban the group. Facebook makes a ban, Discus makes the ban, Robinhood closes their platform. Sounds like exactly what they're doing to conservatives, but on the financial side. You see, they have to do a couple things to stay in power. They have to keep the money in the hands of a few, and they have to censor voices. I warned that this was happening. And guess what else? Google, radical leftist, right, jumps in on the bandwagon to save the day, to save Robinhood's day. And here it is. Google, this is at TheVerge.com. Google salvaged Robinhood's 1-star rating by deleting 100,000 negative views. It's kind of like what YouTube did when it removed all the dislikes from the White House to Joe Biden. But hey, it all worked together, right? Moving on a little bit to the latest censorship of conservatives, because I have to go back there and show you more that's happening, right? Here we are on The Hill, left-leaning group to track which companies hire former top Trump aides. You know, because they don't want them having jobs. So when Trump aides go to try to get a job somewhere else, they're going to be harassed by a leftist radical mob. Really? How is that even fair or legal? Yet it's happening, right? And this is just the latest censorship, right? Or stronghold against a political viewpoint. Here we have Twitter suspending another account. This is the Gateway Pundit. Twitter suspends founder of Internet Accountability Project for hate speech. They removed it and then they put it back on. They make up labels and take them off. This is why I'm telling you, you cannot create laws and say, we can't allow hate speech because hate speech is free speech. And they'll label anything they want. Hate speech. Here's some more. In that latest action, Breitbart.com, blacklisting campaign has been launched against a mommy blogger because she made donations to Trump. And I think the donations were like $2,000. This is a blogger. Wow. They're just picking people now, just picking them out. Then we have Breitbart.com. Nancy Pelosi again, right? Calls some House Republicans the enemy. Days after Biden's appeal for unity. She's just out there left and right saying, they're the enemy. They're the bad guy. How bad? They're enemy. That's pretty radical for her to continue to say stuff like that. And then as a result, we see things happening against Trump supporters. And now traders, right? People who trade on the market. Then we have this right here. USA Today. Horrified. Lowe's won't host Hallie's fundraiser. Now we've got an organizations, not just online, turning people down. And this is happening a lot. And of course, Hillary Clinton wants to weigh in on an action. And she put this out. This woman, speaking of Marjorie Greene, should be on a watch list. Not in Congress. So, because Marjorie said once about something being staged, she needs to go on a watch list? That's according to Hillary Clinton. How is that acceptable in any way? You don't put people on watch list because they believe something. Usually it's because they've threatened massive violence in some way. But that's not exactly what's happening here. So what do? Well, in similar fashion to dictators, like Nazi Germany's dictator Hitler, who got rid of those in political opposition to him. This is what this army online, and even there's many in Congress following suit, trying to get rid of another congressional leader that we picked to be in that position. So they fight each other, accusing each other of murder and hate and crime and saying they should be on watch lists. It's not up to them. We, the people, put those people in there. Anyhow, I'd love to get your thoughts, comments, and concerns. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow me on BitChute and Rumble. You got to start getting off of these platforms and getting over there. I love all of you, and I'm under Lisa Haven on both. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.